Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Simply Nerdy. I'm your host, Steven. I'm joined today by David and Anthony.
Hey, everyone.
Happy to be here.
Yes, we are, because we're talking about that Nintendo Direct. And man, we all have some mixed emotions around here across the board. At least we did this morning. So we're going to go around and talk about, we're not going to cover everything in the Direct, because this had a packed ton of announcements, tons to go over. But we're going to go over kind of what stood out to all of us and give our reasons why. David, why don't we start with you?
Anthony and Steven were surprised by my reaction, particularly Anthony, but I came away saying like it was good. It was maybe a 7 out of 10 for me as far as the Direct goes. I wasn't surprised by that one more announcement. It wasn't like, oh, I never expected this. It was more like, oh, I'm so relieved it's there. I needed that to be there.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't, like if this particular game was a no-show again, like it was gonna be bad. That was kind of like the redeeming factor for the Direct for me.
So Zelda brought it up to a 7, otherwise it would have been a 4.
No.
I'm trying to get information out. That's a legitimate question.
So my two problems. I loved that we finally got the full title reveal for Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh,
And I loved that we have a real release date for that.
Yes.
And but the actual video was another teaser, right? They barely showed anything. It still looked amazing, like the mosaics they showed at the start were hinting at some kind of interesting story, And then but then after that, we basically just got gameplay clips like we've seen the past several times they've said anything about Zelda, right? And then it was over. It was like, oh, I wanted more.
David was thirsty for more. All right, Anthony, what about you?
Well, like David alluded to, I was very surprised by some of the mixed reactions of the members of this discussion here. For me, it was a 10 out of 10 presentation. Now, that's not to say that everything was perfect. I felt like there was a ton of announcements that were tailored almost perfectly for me. So they came out right out of the gate swinging with Fire Emblem Engage.
Yep, that was for you.
That was definitely for me. I'm a pretty big Fire Emblem fan, and the jury's still out on the story. It feels like it's a little bit more stereotypical than the recent fare of Three Houses. So I'm still waiting to see how that pans out. But man, that animation quality, that was something else.
That was solid. I even have to respect that. The animation team deserves a raise.
It looks fantastic. It just feels so much more fluid just watching it. And I mean, Three Houses was an incredible game, but that wasn't one of its strong suits, if you ask me. And so I don't know. It just looks like they put a lot into it, and that makes me excited. Big one was Octopath Traveler 2. That got a few squeals from me.
I played the first Octopath, and I really liked it. It wasn't perfect. It was a little bit too grindy for me. It doesn't respect my time as much as I want it to. Makes me do some grinding, low-level enemy battles and stuff. But I loved the art style. I loved the music.
Oh, heavens!
Yeah, I'm excited for what they showed of Octopath 2. The visuals look even better. That same HD 2D art style, but it just looked incredible. The music was still sounded amazing. It's gonna keep that same style of music that I loved, and then they also said the stories will be more interconnected. So,
I mean, honestly, the biggest thing for me is if they continue that fantastic battle system and hopefully introduce some refinements, then I'm going to be a happy camper. So that was a really delightful surprise. I really liked when they talked about Pikmin 4. They didn't give us much, but it's coming out next year, so that tells me two things. That rumor about it burning up in a fire was bogus.
That's very true.
Pikmin 4 is coming next year, and that's a huge deal.
Huge.
I know a lot of people who are going to be really, really excited about that. And I wouldn't call myself the biggest Pikmin fan myself, but I really enjoyed what I played of Pikmin 3, and it's looking like it's going to be worth a look. Again, we don't know much about it, but I'm just excited to have confirmation that it exists and that it wasn't apparently completely burned in a fire. Anyway, then my last, of course, is Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, I was already pretty pleased with the Direct by this point, but I was still really hoping that they would give us Breath of the Wild. But at the same time, I honestly thought that it was a fool's hope. So when I saw that mural and I started, I just started screaming and squealing just a bit. I'll be perfectly honest.
He started texting our message feed. I was in the hospital. I had a newborn son this weekend. Watching on my screen and just notifications coming down in front of the Zelda mural. Ding! Anthony says, "Oh my gosh!" I was like, "Swipe up! It's happening! Swipe up! I can't believe it! Swipe up!" I was like, "Anthony, shut up! I'm trying to watch the draft!"
I didn't think about that.
Anyway, I can attest. He probably was screaming on the other end of that feed.
Again, like David said, they didn't tell us a ton. They didn't show a bunch of new footage, although what they did show looked pretty delightful. But for me, the reason why this Direct instantly became a 10 is because, first of all, I mean, just the mere fact that they said anything about the sequel, Tears of the Kingdom, was kind of a big deal. But for me, getting a title and a release date, that was like icing on the cake. I was extremely pleased.
And I would give it a 9 out of 10. There was, like Anthony said, there's a lot of announcements that weren't for me, but that's fine because there's tons of different other genres out there that appeal to others, and that's totally fine. Excited for all the Fire Emblem fans out there. It Takes Two, fantastic multiplayer game, one of the best.
Yep.
I have not beaten it yet, to my dismay. I started with my wife on the PlayStation 5, and we're loving it. But this is a serious grab for the Switch. It's a perfect place for it, and I'm glad to see that it's finally coming. You can't talk about the Splatfest, guys. Come on, there's a Splatfest, even though the theme is a little weird. And you all know that I'm a yellow personality, so I'm choosing Team Fun. I'm bringing fun to a deserted island. I don't need food. I don't need gear. I just need to have fun. Dying. And you heard it here first. Anyway, and then obviously the Tears of the Kingdom. Man, that's got a heavy title. That's heavy. Anyway, I don't really want to see anymore. I mean, maybe I do. Just show me a trailer, just like the trailer you showed for Breath of the Wild before it came out. That'd be great. Other than that, I don't want to see anything.
Oh, okay. I do just have to say one thing though, and I don't know if this is something they were showing for sure. But did it seem to any of you that when Link dove off of that floating island, that the transition between the sky world to the land was seamless? It looked like it was a seamless transition.
I know.
That is insane. That is. I don't know. It kind of looks like they really are bringing their A game with trying to outdo Breath of the Wild, and I think they might actually succeed.
You heard it here first.
Before we wrap up this discussion, there was something I noticed during the Direct I thought was weird, and I thought maybe it was just where I was watching it, but apparently Arlo noticed it too. Like when they were revealing the N64 games that would be coming next, and then they oh, we have one more N64 game we should talk about, and it was GoldenEye. They, for some reason in the top corner of the video, there was a Metroid icon.
Yeah, I noticed that too, and I thought that they were going to reveal something Metroid related. But then I was like, wait a minute. No, there's no N64 Metroid game.
Yeah.
Isn't that just the account icon?
The player icon. That's kind of what I interpreted it
and
as.
They have that Screw Attack icon available as that you can use.
Yeah,
as a profile
honestly,
icon. I didn't think anything of it. I love that you guys brought that up because that's literally one of the reasons why I gave the Direct a 9 out of 10 in the first place. Was to kind of go along with what David was saying why he gave it a 7 out of 10 is just there's a lot coming out. There's a lot to look forward to, but not all of it is for me. There's only a couple things in there that were for me that I'm actually going to purchase and play. But another reason why I give it a 9 out of 10 is because it would have been even better if they had some kind of Metroid announcement. Something. With that,
It's,
like Metroid Prime remaster rumor that's been going around forever, or something, or just like, hey, here's a Metroid Prime 4 teaser. Here's another logo. I'll even take a logo right now, Nintendo. Just give me another Metroid Prime 4 logo. Just give me something. But they didn't give me any Metroid, and I'm a diehard Metroid fan, and so's all of us are. But man, I miss my Metroid. Metroid Dread sold so well. I'm sure they're working on something. But, you know, I was just hoping for a Metroid announcement somewhere in there.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, I think what I would probably sum up for this Direct is just, it kind of felt like there was at least something for everyone, and I felt like that in and of itself was kind of a big deal. There was an awful lot for me in particular, and I'm not complaining about that, but I don't know. It looks like we have some really good things to look forward to, and I, for one, am very happy.
Well, you heard it here first. Thanks, guys, for listening to our discussion. If you liked our discussion, please give us a like, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It always helps us out. And
ring that bell.
Yes, and ring the bell, so you're notified of any new videos that we upload. Well, until next time, guys, keep it nerdy.